seeing people talking about their certification, their achievement, and all of that, it can really be intimidating. But that doesn't mean that it is not possible. It is still possible. It is possible to achieve it. So also believing in yourself can help in your transitioning journey. Another thing that has helped me also is being consistent, because there are some days I just don't feel like opening my system. There are some days where I don't feel like learning. There's some days where I just feel like I need to rest. I'm not saying that resting or taking a break is bad. No, it is not. In fact, taking a break is one of the essential things for good health. So I'm not saying taking a break is bad, but there are some times that you're not really taking a break. You're just being lazy. Like this is indiscipline in play. You understand? So those moments like that, you just have to push yourself. Like for me, whenever I have moments like that, I try as much as possible to learn, even though it's 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour for that day, at least let it be that I learned something new. Being consistent, it has really helped me. It has kind of pushed me. So another thing that has also helped me is not comparing myself or competing with those in the field, or even if it's the person is 2 months ahead of me, 1 week ahead of me, or even we started at the same time. I try as much as possible not to try and compare my journey with them, because it can really make you feel less of yourself. It can really, I know we are all humans, so moments like that will surely come in, you understand? But I just try as much as possible to get over it. Just because comparing yourself will make you feel like you're not really doing enough. Even though you've completed this particular course, but you're seeing this person, the person took the certification and passed, and you're just still in this one course. You'd be like, are you really progressing? Are you really doing enough? But believe me, things like that will make you feel less of yourself. As far as you're progressing, no matter how small, it is still a progress. So try as much as possible not to compare your journey with someone else's journey. Another thing that has helped me is sharing my journey on any social media platform. But for me, I share my journey on LinkedIn. It has really helped me so far. Like, because I'm this person that dealt with procrastination. I can say I want to do this, and that energy might be there at the beginning, but as time goes on, that energy will begin to fade out. So, but sharing my journey on LinkedIn serves as a kind of accountability for me, because I know that there are some people out there waiting to hear me. There are some people out there waiting to get my updates, waiting to see how far I've gone on my transition. So I try as much as possible to put out my journey, to make myself visible out there. It has really helped my journey so far. Also, people can also get inspiration from it, because I know a lot of people that have chatted me and be like, wow, if you can do this, I can do this too. I say yes. People can also get inspiration from your journey. And it can also serve as an opportunity for you, because actually nobody buys what they don't know. So the ability to sell yourself out there is very essential. So you can sell yourself by writing an article, maybe work on a project. You can just write an article, post it on your LinkedIn, on your Twitter, any social media platform that works for you. But just make sure that you're documenting it, or document your journey. It is really important, and it has really helped me. Another thing that has helped me is mentorship. Moving from another career to another career, or starting a new change. Oh God, it can really let's say we can be overwhelming. Yes, let me use that word. It can be overwhelming at times, but having someone that is already experienced in that field, someone ahead of you, someone you can learn from their experiences, someone you can learn from their mistakes, someone you can know the trends in that field, it can really be helpful. It can really be helpful. So seek for mentorship. Seek for it. A lot of people on LinkedIn, on Twitter, they're ready to help out if you ask any question. They are ready to. If you reach out to them, a lot of them are ready to answer your question. A lot of them are ready to help you out in any way. So try as much as possible to ask questions if you're starting off a new journey in any career, or if you're looking at transitioning. Another thing that has also helped me is practicing. Um, you know, watching a course, taking a course maybe on Udemy and working on a real project is quite different. Is a lot. Yes, there's a lot of difference in it. So I try as much as possible. Maybe once you're done taking a course, look for link or videos that can show you projects you can work on with that skills that you've learned, and try and work on it. It will really, really help you. It will make you understand more on that skill you have learned. So practice it, practice your skills. Um, then another thing that has also helped me is persevering. There was a time I had this bug for like 1 week, one good week. I had this bug. Uh, I think if I didn't leave tech that particular week, I don't think I can leave tech again. I had this bug for straight 1 week. Funny enough, what was the problem? The problem was that I didn't remove an ash. I didn't just this ash sign. I didn't remove it. That was just where the problem was. When I found that, I was like, God, is this? I don't understand. But it can really be frustrating. Trust me, it can really be frustrating. It will get to a point then it will so frustrate you. Bugs will deal with you. But at that particular moment, you still need to persevere. You still need to persevere. So okay, my name is, like I said before, my name is Njoku Ujunwa Sophia. I'm a nursing, final year nursing student that transitioned from nursing to tech. And when I said my tech journey, that was on 20. Okay, first when I got into tech was my 200 level. Was that 2022 or so? It was my 200 level. I picked an interest in tech. But I started off with UI UX. I don't know if you know this organization, they call DigiGirls. I started off with UI UX. Then it got to an extent. My laptop was not really good for UI UX then. So I had to stop UI UX. Then I am this ALS, yeah, ALS. They were doing this scholarship program then for different careers in tech. Think both data analysis and all of that. So I took their software engineering program then. I don't know if the scholarship is still on, but as of then, they were doing a scholarship. So, but as I was taking that software engineering program, it was not really a beginner friendly. Like it was not really beginner friendly. So I had to stop and continued my life in nursing. But as time goes on, I still feel like I really want to do this tech. I really want to be in tech. Yes, nursing is a very, very good career. It's wonderful. But we all have our passions. We have what we want to do, what we can do that will make us happy, something we can do that will derive joy from. So I had to start. I got a new system. Then I went back into UI US again. But it was not as challenging as I wanted. It was not really as challenging as I wanted. No, I'm not saying that UI yes is not challenging. No, it's not easy to be very creative. It's really not easy. A lot of us can build designs from scratch. We don't even know how to handle a design. So I'm not saying it's not challenging. It's challenging. But the thing is that I needed something more. I needed something more challenging. There was this type of challenging that I wanted, and it was not UI US. So that was when I went to research more on other tech skills, and I saw DevOps. So it took me weeks to really understand what this DevOps was all about. Let me not lie. It took me weeks because I was able to understand the concept of cloud computing very well. But DevOps, it was really, really hard for me. And I know that some people might also be like that. They might be like, maybe you go on Google, on YouTube, on LinkedIn, and be seeing everybody talking about DevOps, and be wondering what really is this DevOps about. So today I'll try as much as possible to explain what DevOps is and its benefits. So I would love to share my screen. Let me wait. Give me a minute. Let me. Okay. Okay, if you can see my screen, please let me know. Okay. If you can see my screen, just let me know. All right, thank you. So, okay, before I start talking about DevOps, let me say how this DevOps, okay, what really brought about this DevOps? Why did DevOps come into place? So in the traditional software development team, then they had two teams, which are the development team and the operational team. So the development team and the operational team, the development team was in charge of writing the code. They'll write the code, build it, and they'll send it over to the operational team, which is in charge of running and deploying the code to the server, maybe a testing or a production server. They're in charge of it. So once they are deployed, it will get to the users. But there was a problem. And what was that problem? Once the developer write the codes and send it to the operational team, then the operational team will try running the code. But the operational team might not be able to run the code on their system. The operational team will send it back to the developer and tell the developer, I tried running this code. It's not working on my system. The developer will tell the operational team, but it's working on mine. So maybe the fault can be from your own end. But where was the fault from? Let me say if the developer, let me say it's a Java application now. The developer is using a JDK 11 for this project, while the operational team is trying to use a JDK 17 to run and deploy this project. You can see it might not really work. It might not really work. There'll be a lot of issues for the operational team. So this caused a lot of challenges. This caused a lot of setbacks. Once there is an update, it doesn't get to the user faster than it should be. So as time goes on, organization has to look for ways to bridge this gap between the developer, the development team, and the operational team. That was where DevOps came into. So the problems they had then was something like communication breakdown. There was not enough communication between the development team and the operational team. Then we were not able to communicate effectively. The developer would just write the code and send it over to the operational team to run and deploy it. So there was no communication there. There was also slow delivery of that application. It doesn't get to the user. Let me say, as of now, you can deploy an application in minutes, but as of then, it might take 2 weeks, it might take days, it might even take up to a month just to deploy a particular application or an update. But these were one of the challenges that traditional software development had, this slow delivery of a software. Another one was low quality. There was no testing, but with DevOps now, you can now test an application before sending it out there. You can test it for bugs before putting it out there. Another thing was high costs. When something takes time to deliver, the more time it takes, the more cost the thing is accumulating. So these were one of the challenges too that software development we are facing then. High cost of infrastructures, because it was taking a lot of time to be delivered. So the costs were just increasing. Another thing was lack of automation. Automation, which is the developer would write the code, the operational team would deploy, it will be back to the user, it will get to the user. Maybe if there is any bug or anything, it will now be sent back to the developer and all of that. But then there was lack of automation, like things were not done continuously. So these were one of the problems that traditional software development had then. So now what really is this DevOps and how did it help out? How did it help manage these challenges? How did it help manage these problems? So DevOps is an approach, it's a practice or culture in software development and delivery that emphasizes on collaboration, communication, and automation. So what this is trying to say is that DevOps is not just a skill. DevOps is not a tool. DevOps is not just a career, it is a culture that was put in place to bridge that gap between the development team and the operational team, for them to communicate effectively, for the efficient delivery of a software or application. So that's what DevOps is. It's just a culture, it's a practice to bridge that gap. So the life cycle of DevOps. This is the life cycle of DevOps, how development happens. So let me start from here. This planning. Once a team wants to build an application or maybe an update, want to add an update to an application or a software, they'll first of all plan it, right? They'll define the goals, they'll identify the requirement, the things they need to use for the application, they map out the workflow, set the environment, then they create the pipeline. Then after that, the developer will start work. The developer will start writing the code. The developer will write and review the code. Once the developer is done writing the code, the developer will build it. The code will be built, then and it will be built and packaged into an executable file. If it's a Java application, to be packaged into a Java file. So once they are done building it, they will test it. They will test the code for bugs. Maybe it is not following a particular standard, or they'll test this. That is where they'll test the code in this stage. Then once they are done testing the code and maybe the code is free from bugs, or the code is free to go, they will now release the code, maybe to the team members, or they'll release the application, maybe to the team members, or to test it out, to check if really is working. Then once they release the code, they will not deploy it. This is where the code will not be deployed to maybe a testing or a production server. To be deployed to a testing or a production server. After it is being deployed, then the users will begin to operate on it. The users who cannot be able to use that particular application, cannot be able to use the updates that we added to the applications. Then this monitoring stage is where you will check for bugs or crash, because no application can be perfect. There will always be bugs. There will always be crash and problems. So this monitoring stage will help check for it, then send the feedback back to the developer. Maybe if there was a bug found, they'll send the feedback back to the developer. See, there was a problem here. The developer will not know how to handle it. By that, the stages will, the cycle will continue again. This is what we call automation. The cycle will continue again. It doesn't just stop. It continues. The developer will write the code, build the code will be tested, it will be released, it will be deployed, the users will operate on it, then they'll monitor it again for bugs, get users' feedback, then send it back to the developer again. The cycle just continues. Then, okay, so for those that are looking to go into DevOps, this is the roadmap. I saw a lot of roadmap online, so I just tried to break it down a little, just with the most popular tools that we are using now. I tried to bring it down a little. So one of the things you have to learn first is Linux. Linux is an operating system, and that's what most companies use. That's what most enterprises use, Linux. So you have to learn Linux. Another thing you have to learn is networking. Sorry. Excuse me. I'm coming, please. Okay. Okay. So once you're done learning Linux, another thing you have to learn is networking. You have to learn how computers interact with each other. You really have to learn this. These are the fundamental knowledge you need to go into DevOps. Then once you're done learning networking, you can learn any cloud provider. There are a lot of cloud providers out there, but the most common ones are AWS, Azure, GCP. So you can pick any cloud provider that works for you and learn, or anyone that your organization might be needing. You can just pick anyone and learn it. Then you can learn scripting. I would recommend bash scripting, or maybe if you know Python too, it can be helpful. I recommend learning bash scripting. Then once you're done learning these four fundamentals, you can now go into DevOps proper, which is CI/CD. So this CI/CD is like, it's a pipeline. It's creating a pipeline to automate your software delivery. It's just creating a pipeline where, let me say, the developer will be done writing the code and send the code to the GitHub. So you create a pipeline on Jenkins, using Jenkins, whereby you take the code from GitHub, build the code, test it, and then deploy it. That's what CI/CD is. CI/CD is the full meaning is continuous integration and continuous deployment. So the developer writes the code, sends it to GitHub. You build a pipeline that takes that code from GitHub, build the code, test it, and deploy the code. We have different stages in Jenkins pipeline. We have different stages. So you write the Jenkins pipeline based on the stages you need, on the how you want the cycle to be. So you write it based on that. Then after running the CI/CD, you go over to containerization. This is just packaging your application, both the dependencies. So excuse me. You package your application whereby someone else can just take the application, that particular image, and run it on their system. It doesn't matter if they are running it on the same environment you wrote it in, or it doesn't really matter. They can just take it and run it on their system, and it works because you've already packaged it. You've already added the dependencies, the environment, everything to that particular image. So all the person has to do is just to go to maybe the Docker Hub, get the image and run it on their system, and the image is up, the application is up and running. So another thing, once you're done learning Docker, you go over to Kubernetes. You can learn container orchestration. After learning Kubernetes, you learn IAC. This IAC is called infrastructure as a code. It's just used to configure infrastructures. Just like, let me say, if it's AWS, you can use Terraform to build, configure an EC2 instance. Instead of doing it manually, instead of going to AWS sites, because it's easier. It's easier for it makes work easy. Then another thing is, okay, this as a beginner, these are the necessary roadmaps that you need to learn. Linux, you learn networking, you pick a cloud provider to learn, maybe AWS, Azure, or GCP. Then you learn bash scripting, you learn CI/CD, the most common tools. These are not only the tools used in CI/CD, but these are just the common ones. These are not only the tools used in containerization, container orchestration, IAC, but these are the most common ones and the ones recommended. So you learn CI/CD, learn containerization, container orchestration, infrastructure as a code. So just take it step by step. Learning it all at once, it might really be overwhelming. It will really be overwhelming. So just take it a step at a time. With time, you get used to it. So let's go over to the benefits of DevOps. Since DevOps was added to software development, what has it benefited? Like, how has it helped the software development so far? So one of the benefits is faster time to market. Just like I said then, if it takes the development team or the technical team longer time to deploy that code, to deploy that application or to deploy that software, that means it will take long time to get to the consumer, to take long time to get to the user. And we are in a competitive market. Every company is trying to stay at the top. So the longer time it takes for you, your customer can get frustrated and move over to your competitor. So DevOps has kind of tried to reduce that. It makes it easier to deploy application, to deploy updates. Once an update is being said, once a developer gets write an update and send it to the GitHub, Jenkins just triggers that. It's being triggered by Jenkins and everything is automated again, whereby the code is built, tested, deployed. So this makes the software delivery so fast. Like, it makes it so fast. So another thing that has DevOps has also helped is it's increased efficiency, because once you automate a task, once you automate that pipeline, once you automate these processes, it requires less of human effort. So there will be no much errors, there will be no much bug, but this will kind of increase the efficiency of um, that delivery, to increase the efficiency. So another thing that DevOps has also helped in is improved quality. This is where it encourages continuous testing and monitoring, which can help identify and resolve issues early in the development process. This leads to high quality software and a better experience for customers. So continuous testing has really helped software development, because then once a developer is done writing the code, building it, and sending it over to the operational team, without testing the code will be the application will be deployed. Maybe let me say to the production server. If it's not being tested, this can cause it might even crash the application, So, but DevOps have kind of found a way to make sure that the application is being tested, to find any loophole, any bugs that might lead to that crashing of the application when it gets to the production server or the testing server. So DevOps has really improved the quality of applications. Another thing DevOps has helped in is increased customer satisfaction. Oh, yes, it's still getting almost the same thing with faster time to market. Once customers are able to get updates faster than before, they'll be happy, they'll be satisfied, they'll really appreciate your business. So DevOps has helped in that way too. It has helped customers gain that satisfaction by delivering to them application and update faster. Another way DevOps has helped in is enhanced collaboration. This is the major one, because then in traditional software development, the main problem was miscommunication. The main problem was the developer and the operational team were not having effective communications. The developer will just build the code and send it to the operational team. The operational team runs it on maybe a different environment. So that communication that was not there between the developer and the operational team caused a lot of problem. But DevOps has found a way to bridge that gap between the application, the development team, and the operational team. Has found a way to bridge that gap. So now in DevOps, there is teamwork, there's collaboration, there's effective communication between the development team and the operational team. Another thing that DevOps has also helped in is in reduce cost. Just like I said before, if an application is taking a long time to be delivered or to be deployed, the longer time it takes, the more the costs are being accumulated, the more the cost gets high. Like, let me take for example AWS. When you're using an AWS EC2 instance, maybe you're using maybe not their free type, you're using their EC2 instance, and it's running. The more it's running, the more your cost is increasing. That's just it. The more your cost is, whether you're using it or not, the more it is increasing. So you see, the more this delivery takes time, the more this deployment takes time, the more the cost is being increased. But DevOps has helped in such a way that deployment can happen within minutes. Deployment can happen within just minutes, instead of taking days, instead of taking weeks like before. It just take minutes and the application will be deployed. So it will reduce the cost of infrastructures being used. So in conclusion, in all I've said now, I'm trying to say DevOps have seek to bridge the gap between software development and operations by bringing these two teams together. Oh wait, give me a minute. Sorry. Let me. Okay. So DevOps has found a way to bridge the gap between that software development team and the operational team. It has made them be able to collaborate effectively. It has made them be able to do things, teamwork. It has brought in that teamwork to avoid this miscommunication. That is, so DevOps is not just a skill. DevOps is not just a tool. DevOps is not just a career. DevOps is a practice. And what is that practice? Bridging the gap between the development team and the operational team. That is what DevOps is all about. So I think I'm done with the introduction to DevOps. So if you have any question, if you have anything to ask me, the floor is open to ask. You can ask me any question maybe on the chat, or you can unmute yourself. I don't know, anyone that serves you right. So
So, good morning. Can you hear me? Good morning.
yes, I can hear you.
Hi, good morning. My name is Sunday again.
Sorry, you say?
I said my name is Sunday again.
Okay.
So, learning a DevOps. So, what you just tried to tell us this morning, is it just an introduction on how we can get into a DevOps, or on those topic or content that you looked at, you are going to still take us on, like one after the other, about the roadmap on how to become a DevOps engineer or
Sorry, I didn't get the
engineer.
question. Can you? Sorry,
Can you hear me now?
sorry, I didn't get the question. Can you say it again?
Yeah. I said, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So yeah, what I'm saying is this: from the slide now,
Okay.
just get our roadmap to become a DevOps developer or an engineer. That's number one. Number two, the slide you just showed us now, which showed the introduction and the networking of teaching course, or just showing us the introduction or how to get to be a DevOps engineer and DevOps developer. That's good. That's the two questions I have.
Okay. So what I just did now is to introduce DevOps, the introduction to DevOps. Then anyone that is looking to transition into DevOps, I showed a roadmap. There are a lot of roadmap online, but I had to bring out this one that will be a little bit easier or simpler to transition into DevOps. So what I did today was just to introduce DevOps and the benefits of DevOps, then a roadmap that might help in your transitioning from to DevOps. I hope that answered your question.
Yes, it answered my question. So,
Okay.
what is the advantage of joining a DevOps team, and
What is the what?
what is the advantage of joining a DevOps to become a DevOps team member, like being a DevOps, and
Okay.
what's the how will I put this now? What is the market challenge like? You get.
Okay. So DevOps is one tech skill that is in demand. It is in high demand. So that's one advantage of being a DevOps. It is in high demand. So what's the word? The market challenges. Is that what you
The
asked?
market challenge and the value.
Value of DevOps.
Yes.
Okay, to the market or to you as an individual?
To the market.
Okay, the challenges of DevOps. I'm sorry, the value of DevOps. Just I mentioned it in my benefits when I talked about the benefits of DevOps. That it helps to make it improves that collaboration between the developer and the operational team. It's the practice that improves that collaboration between the developer and the operational team. And again, DevOps is it helps this faster delivery of softwares. It helps in the faster delivery of software. These are the two major values of DevOps. It helps in the faster delivery of software, and also it improves that collaboration between the developer and the operational team. I Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much. Any other question?
Another question, please. So
Okay.
DevOps, can you hear me? So DevOps, they are just like intermediary
Yeah, I can hear you.
between a developer and the operation center or yeah, I'm saying my question is another question is I said DevOps, they are the middleman between a developer and the operation, right? Can you hear me?
Sorry, I think we lost.
Hello, can you hear me now? Is anyone here? I think there is a network problem from now what's it called now from my own end. Hello guys.
Yeah, Sunday, I can hear you. I think she had a network
Okay.
issue and she'll be
Okay.
joining back.
Okay. Yeah, I think so. Because I was unable to hear her again. That's why I'm just trying to be sure that I'm not the one that lost the connection.
Yes, we can hear you, Sunday. I think it's Njoku that we lost. Njoku, are you still there?
Tuangaze, are you not talking, please?
Okay, sorry, just a moment, guys. I think she just rejoined. Sophie, we lost you for a moment. Can you hear us now?
Sorry, I was having network issues. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can
Okay,
hear you
so
now.
okay. Someone was asking a question then.
Yes, it's me Sunday.
Okay, what are you saying? Sorry.
So I'm asking that a DevOps team now or a DevOps person is an
Okay.
intermediary between a developer and the operation, right?
Um, no, that's no like DevOps. It's not a DevOps person. I mean DevOps as a culture, as a practice on its own. It was a culture and a practice before it became a career. The company started having started seeing the use of having a DevOps engineer on its own. It was a culture. It was just a practice to bridge that gap between the developer and the operational team. To
I
bridge
didn't get
that.
that. Sorry.
Sorry, say?
I didn't get the answer very well, as in it's not that clear.
Okay, I said DevOps is a practice. Before it became a career, it is just a practice to bridge that gap between the developer and the operational team.
Okay.
So, but as time goes on, companies begin to see the need to have a DevOps engineer, someone that's to have a DevOps engineer, like. But at the initial plans of DevOps, it's just a practice to bridge that gap, to make the developer and the operational teams communicate effectively, to enhance the efficiency of software delivery.
Okay. So
That
for you to
answered.
become, yes, for you to become a DevOps now, a DevOps person
Okay.
now, that means you have to have ideas of a coding software. I mean, software developer, what it does.
No. Okay. Um, for me, I'll say that is not really necessary. But if you have it, fine. But that is not. It's not a must. It's not a must that you must have it. It's not really a must that you must have a coding experience or a programming skills. It's not really a must.
Okay.
All right.
Sorry, would you if I may add to the question he asked, right? If I may provide more clarity to it.
Okay.
Sunday, so you are asking if I don't I think you are asking if DevOps is the is like if is the middleman now between the developer team and the operations team, right? Is that was your first question?
Yes.
Okay. Now so before, right? So when Uju started, I think she kind of explained when she did the history, right? So before now, right? In a traditional team, right? What you have is the developer team, the software development team and the operations team. So the the software development team, what they do all the coding, and you understand when they are done coding, they package the application and give to the operation person to deploy. And would you also mention the issues experience with such a traditional with that approach, right? So the operation person now trying to deploy and figuring out that he or she cannot just deploy the application, right? Based on maybe it could be because of differences in the environmental setup, libraries, incompatible libraries. The development team is using a different library locally, right? When writing the code, and the operation person that is deploying, right, has a totally different setup, right? So DevOps now came up, right? So DevOps now came up. Just DevOps is basically a culture, just to encourage. It tries to bring the development team and the operations team together, right? So that they can all those blockers they normally meet along when it comes to deployment of code, right? It kind of so as to reduce that, right? And also look for a way to automate things, some of the things that are being done manually to be automated. So when you look at that keyword, DevOps, you can see that the O there is always in capital letter. It's just like a combination of the development team and the operations team. So basically now, so in a modern team now, what's the role DevOps is playing is like DevOps I would say it has totally um, you let's just call them the modern operations team, right? So it has
Okay.
replaced that role of you having an operation team, right? So you just fully have what you now have is a DevOps team, right? DevOps personnel, like DevOps engineers. So once the developer and what the DevOps engineer basically does is he or she like automates the um, delivery of softwares, right? So once the developer is done coding and everything, you push to GitHub. Once you push to GitHub, the DevOps person has already created CI/CD pipelines that immediately you push to GitHub is automatically building a project, and when it builds the project, it does all those just like we just said, the testing and everything, vulnerability checks. You understand? Once it's done, it pushes the code maybe to a repository or something, but then and it does automatic deployment. So is everything is so DevOps tries to encourage automation. Basically, they just say automate everything to make the delivery of software seamless. I don't know if that answers. So DevOps basically replaces the traditional operation guys. So yeah.
Okay, I know, I get that now. So, in summary of what you just said, just to make it to be more automated and more to make the service delivery or the software delivery more easier and very fast.
Exactly. Yeah. I think would you actually mention that on the slide?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I get it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Ike, for that explanation. Thank you. Does anyone else have any question? Maybe you can drop it on the chat. And if anyone else have any contribution or something to say, you're also free to say. You're also free to contribute.
Njoku, there's a question on the chat.
Uh, I left the code there and I rejoined, so I can't find any question here.
Oh,
Can
okay.
the person
So
resend it? Okay.
I can read it out for you. So Diana was asking which resources can we use to DevOps? Maybe you can share useful resources that you've used in your learning journey on DevOps.
Okay, so if I'm to get a question, you say resources I've used in my learning journey in DevOps, right?
Yes.
No. Yeah, the question is
Okay.
which resources can we use as a beginner to get into DevOps? That's the question Rihanna asks.
Okay. So the resources I used was on Udemy. I've forgotten the name of that man again, but it is I think the course is DevOps Beginner to Pro or DevOps Beginner to Advanced course. That was the course I used on Udemy. Then for Kubernetes, learning Kubernetes, I'm using Nana. I don't know if you know this lady they call Nana. Nana Tech. I'm using a course on YouTube. Then Code Cloud too. I'm using Code Cloud courses to practice for practicing. So maybe I'll drop the link later. Once I'm done with this call, I'll look for the link and drop it later. I
Yeah, I think that would be more helpful. The link would be
oh
more
yeah.
helpful.
All right. I'll drop it later.
Just
I will.
just link probably all the resources that make use of, so we can go through one after the other. Then.
Oh, okay. Okay. I will do that later. Okay.
Yeah.
So any other question?
Not I think.
Okay. So in the absence of question, I will give the floor back to the hosts. Irina, are you still there?
Yes. Yes.
All right.
Thanks.
All right.
Thanks, Sophie. So yeah, that's it, guys. It was really an amazing session. Sophie, just to thank you first for even accepting our invitation. All the way from Nigeria. I know most of us are actually joining from Kenya, but it's actually an honor to have you accepting to speak at our session. And also, just to mention, I thought you were actually one of the best people who could take us through an introduction, seeing that you are actually transitioning from um, having a nursing, actually studying your undergraduate in nursing. So it's actually very interesting to have to see someone with an educational background like yours actually striving to transition to DevOps. So it's really encouraging. We are so honored to have had you on this session. So we hope to have you even on the other sessions, and also to answer a question that Sunday asked is we are actually having a series. So this community is called Tuangaze Tech Africa, and we have a series that's running on DevOps. So we're actually going to follow that roadmap. We'll have sessions around Linux, cloud. So be sure to actually follow us. You can follow us on LinkedIn. I'm going to share the links. You can also join our WhatsApp group so you are in touch with the communications that we make going forward if you're actually interested in learning DevOps. So I really hope there's no one who's being closed out on questions. Is there anyone who is being closed out? You have maybe like remarks you want to make? Any remarks? Anyone?
You said what? What was the question? Sorry.
Does anyone have any remarks before we actually like close up the session?
Yeah, it's a good section. At least to before now when I've been having hearing about develop thing everything, I was basically thinking of okay, probably they have to work together with a developer also. After a developer have done their own, they will also continue from where they stop so that they could be able to add one or two code on their own. So that's what I've been thinking before now. So now, before we round up, so let's assume that when a developer, question to Njoku now. So let's assume that a developer develop a particular code, and on that code, there's a vulnerability. There's vulnerability on that code, or maybe a web application or whatsoever application they develop that the developer developed. And if there's a vulnerability, is it the DevOps team that is going to correct it, or is going to send back to the developer team to do the correction?
Okay, so that's a wonderful question. No, it's not the DevOps team. It's not the job of a DevOps team to write a code or to make amendment to any code. Once the DevOps team tests it and there is a vulnerability there, the DevOps team will send it back to the developer to work on it. So no, it's not the job of a DevOps engineer. I hope that answers the question.
Yes, yes, that's fine.
All right.
All right, so this section is so quite interesting, and I think I've learned one or two which I didn't know before now. So I think starting from today, I'll start putting an eye into a DevOps team, because I think before now, I've been pushing. Though I started early this year my cybersecurity course, so I've been pushing this about 50 months now that I've been into cybersecurity everything. So I think DevOps to when I'm done, like done, and I have my stand on cybersecurity, then I can see what I want to do with DevOps. So thank you. It's a good course and it's a nice section. Thank you so much for this.
Thank you so much, Sunday. Thank you so much. We are ready to welcome you to the Devil's World. Thank you. Thank you for the remarks. I'm grateful.
Yes, thank you, Sunday. Is there anyone else? So, guys, I've actually shared the WhatsApp link on the chat. You can check the chat for the WhatsApp group link and just click on the link and it will redirect you to your WhatsApp. You can join the group. Also, there is the link to our community page on LinkedIn. Njoku, if you're in a position to, you can also drop your LinkedIn account link so we can also connect with you and follow you. So guys, please make sure you join the group because I'll add Njoku to the group and then she'll share the resources for learning DevOps. So be sure to join the group so you don't miss out. So I think at this point I want to wind up the session. So thank you everyone for joining. We really appreciate your time. I know it's really early there in Nigeria. So thank you guys for actually making time. It's around 11 a.m. right now in Kenya. So for everyone who has joined from wherever you have joined, we really appreciate you. Thank you for taking your time. Also, if you'd like to volunteer with us as a speaker to organize future sessions on this DevOps series, also to like maybe share with your community in any way that you'd like to volunteer. I'm not sure if you still can hear me. It's like I've lost my connection. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, sure. We can hear you.
Okay, I think I lost my connection on the machine, but on the laptop. But if you'd like to volunteer with us in any way, feel free to reach out to me. My name is Irene Karaoke. I'll drop also my LinkedIn. But once you join the group, you can actually text me. So I'll just say on the group that you can reach out to me in case you want to volunteer with us. So that's it from me. I don't know if my colleague has any remarks. Collins, do you have any remarks before we close?
Hi, you can hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you so much, Njoku, for the one and the wonderful session that we had on DevOps. Actually, I really enjoyed the session. It was systematically and clearly explaining out the basic understanding and the basic roadmap you can take towards your DevOps journey. It was an impressive one and looking forward for more and more. And thanks everyone who made up for this. And have a nice weekend.
Thank you, Collins. Njoku, sorry if we are butchering your name. I think we'll just call you Sophia. I hope we are not butchering your name. But thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. If you have any challenge with joining the WhatsApp group, please let me know before we go. But that's it from us. Thank you so much and enjoy your weekend. Bye.
Okay, good day.
Good day, everyone.